Good day everyone, I am the Witcher of Wales. And for those who don't know, I travel Wales on my motorcycle and visit all the modern day locations where the myths and legends of old once happened, and we take a look at the stories that once shaped the magical land of Wales. During the next few weeks, together we will take a journey into the heart of Wales. So it's 6:30 in the morning and we're leaving my North Wales village behind, heading straight down towards mid-Wales. Our first stop today will take us to the most southern border of the Snowdonia National Park and to a mountain range steeped with mythological history. There are a number of legends associated with this location, from dragons, hounds from hell, giants and curses. So it may not come as a surprise to you that this is our first stop today on our mythological tour of Wales. Gwyn ap Nudd is a Welsh mythological figure known to be king of the fair folk and ruler of the hidden Welsh magical kingdom called the Otherworld. Now the Otherworld is a supernatural realm of everlasting youth, beauty, health, abundance and joy. It is also known in Welsh mythology to be called Annwn, and in many Arthurian legends it is referred to as Avalon. Each of these names still refers to the same place, and this is a place we will hear lots about throughout our adventures. So Gwyn ap Nudd, king of the underworld, would often cross realms into our world for activities such as hunting, and the location that we are heading to was once his favourite hunting ground. Gwyn would cross realms with his Kai Annwn. These were huge, ferocious dogs, often white in colour with red ears, to be described as Hellhounds, but also known as the Hounds of Annwn. But it is not the teeth on these hellish hounds that present the danger to mortal humans, for in this case the old saying is truly right: the bark is most certainly worse than the bite. For legend has it, the howling of these huge dogs foretold death to any human that heard them. The pack of hounds would then sweep up the deceased soul and herd it back to the underworld. not have guessed, our first location is Caidia Idris, a mountain range in southern Snowdonia. Caidia Idris is one of Wales' most iconic mountains. At just under 3,000 feet in height, it's the second tallest peak in Wales. Caidia, translated into English, would mean chair or seat. And Idris was the name of a giant from ancient times. So therefore Caidia Idris would simply mean chair of Idris. Many thousands of years ago, when the earth was still young, creatures known today as giants would roam the land. Some giants were pure of heart, while others were filled with evil. Idris was a gentle giant, a poet, astronomer and philosopher who saw himself as a protector of all of Earth's innocence, from the smallest flower to the tallest of trees. He would use a mountain range formed of 3 peaks and surrounding a bottomless lake as an armchair so that he could stargaze, watch over his lands and be closer to the gods. There are many tales of Idris, but the most common are those of the huge nearby boulders. Idris was sitting in his chair one day when he felt pieces of grit inside of his shoe. He removed the grit and tossed it down the mountainside. At the foot of the mountain, even to this day, there lies large boulders, not in keeping with the glacial geology of all the other rocks around the area. Similar boulders lie in nearby towns which match the stories of more grit thrown from the chair of Idris. Moving forward in time to the age of man, the magical poetry from Idris still lingers around the mountain range. It is said that poets from around the land would climb Caidia Idris for inspiration, but this was never as straightforward as it first would seem. For the legend has it that should any man fall asleep on the slopes or the summit of Caidia Idris, he will awaken as either a skilled poet, a madman, or even never awaken again. To this day, people claim to hear soft sounds of poetry as the wind brushes the sides of the mountain and skims the lake. This is said to be the poets whose souls were taken by the mountain. At the heart of Caidia Idris is an icy black lake known as Llyn Cai, foretold to be bottomless and the prison of a Welsh water dragon. This dragon would cause untold misery as it terrorised the towns around southern Snowdonia. The townspeople called on a heroic figure to save them from the dragon's reign of terror. This heroic figure, of course, answered their plea, capturing the dragon and tying it to the back of his horse. He quite possibly rode the very path we have walked today, crossing the river at its narrowest point and climbing the summit of the mountain. This hero tossed the dragon from the top of Caidia Idris into the lake below, for in this isolated, bottomless lake the dragon was now trapped. But locals to this day claim to hear the roars of the dragon echoing through the night from the mountainous valley. But who was this heroic figure? Why, it was no other than King Arthur himself. So for any walkers, climbers, adventurers, or even witchers heading to Caidir Idris, heed this warning. Although in the day it may seem beautiful, at nightfall, listen for the paw stomps of the Hellhounds and not for the howls. Beware of the dragon that lurks below, and whatever you do, do not fall asleep. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode of The Witcher of Wales. Next episode we're going to head a little bit further south, but if you do like what you see for now, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you hit that notification bell, you'll be the first to know when a new video is up and ready to watch. Thank you, and goodbye for now.